Our speaker this morning is Holly Mason. Holly is a 2-year boarding student from Hawke's Bay, New Zealand. She's a prefect in Hillrest, a writing fellow, and a member of the Ellis Theatre Guild. She's also the proud roommate of Mao Motoyoshi. Holly?
Don't be alarmed, but I'm going to reference English class. I think we all remember the years of studying the plot diagram. You know, the image of the mountain with a climax is at the peak, almost steady climb. We were told of beginning, middle, and end. Our teachers explained to us the exposition, rising action, climax, and resolution with everything in between. But it is the entertainment industry that taught us the most important part of the plot. The moment when the hero realizes that friendship is magic and all becomes right with the world. Actually, though, I can't count the number of books, musicals, shows, and movies that have a moment of desperation and defeat. But I'm pretty sure that's the point. They've lost something or someone, the bad guy is about to destroy the world, and the hero is on their knees, apparently defeated, even though, plot twist, they aren't. Literature says this moment comes right before our biggest wins. In reality, not all of our lowest moments can be saved by Vin Diesel telling me that I have family. Recall, if you will, all of these moments that you've ever watched or read. So much pressure is on these heroes that when they fail, when they take the wrong step, their fall feels longer than it actually is, because all inevitably fall. For so many heroes, guilt is what brings them down. I mean, look what happened to Thor after he lost his eye, his people, and his brother, along with everything else. Guilt is what defeats a hero before they can win. But we don't have plot armor that protects us and helps us realize that we can get up and keep walking. When I was in middle school, people would call me perfect. But, as you can imagine, this term coming from a middle schooler wasn't meant to be a compliment. I was the goody two-shoes who followed the rules. I loved my parents and helped my teacher when I could. But this also meant that what would be considered cool at the time was out of reach for me. Perfect wasn't a compliment. It was a reason for me not to be included in whatever my classmates were doing. As the perfect title kept being placed upon me, I was isolated again and again. After years of being separated from others by the term perfect, I started to realize that I wasn't the same person I was years ago. I know, it's a shocker. Who knew that we develop over time? But I lost the innocence that I had. I was angrier, I was sadder, I felt more alone. I couldn't see the love that my family had for me. There was a night that I still remember. I remember half of our living room in darkness, making the couch that I was thinking on an ironic ray of light. I remember the embrace of my mom as I sobbed into her shoulder. I remember telling her, "I think I'm broken." It's a big change from perfect to broken. Many mistakes paved the way. I could measure who I used to be and all the mistakes I made that had led me to such a broken state, that it put a weight on me that I won't quickly forget. I felt guilty that I had allowed myself to change, to lash out, to lose hope in the world. Had I let myself let go of the best part of me? I can't tell you how many times I've made mistakes. From small words to rules broken to people hurt, I've messed up. The saying goes, I'm only human, but being human doesn't help the still present guilt. To an extent, guilt shows our humanity. It shows that we care about the mistakes we made and the people affected, but is also the chain that keeps us in place if we don't release it. I have a question for you. What would happen if we let ourselves stay in the guilt of our mistakes? Personally, I wouldn't talk much. I wouldn't care about the people around me. I wouldn't try new things or meet new people. I would stay where I was. I wouldn't have taken the chance of coming to a new school junior year. I may be exaggerating, but my life would be put on hold. I don't know about you, but I want to give myself the chance to do better next time. I want the chance to laugh at my French class as Kirpa asks for a grill break. I want the chance to throw another shot put after throwing it straight forward, and I mean straight forward at 0 degrees. If you don't know, that's like the opposite of what you're supposed to do. I want the chance to cement our sixth form memories on the dial team. I want the chance to reach out to the students who don't feel comfortable in a new environment. I want the chance to move on. I'm not doing anyone good stuck in a time machine made of my own guilt, and neither is anyone else. Whether it be a mistake on a test, a mess up on the court, a fumble in a relationship, a stumble in who we've told ourselves to be, or an accidental sleep-in caught by one of the deans, which is one of my biggest fears right now, but besides the point. The point is, no one deserves to be held back by a mistake a younger version of ourselves made. The idea of perfection isn't possible. I now despise the term because it belittles all of the growth that we have made and all of the mistakes. It discredits all of the tears and self-deprecating thoughts. Perfect is impossible. So how do we continue on? Forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the greatest acts of self-love, one of the best ways to allow the idea of perfect to fade away, and you deserve it. We all do. In Buddhism, the 3 marks of existence encapsulate what could be seen as one of the most important beliefs of the religion. All put together, they say that nothing is permanent. We are forever changing. We are not the same as we were a minute ago, a month ago, or a year ago, because we are changing, gaining new information, and seeing the world in a slightly different way. Personally, I'd agree that I'm not the same person I was a year ago, let alone 5 years. So why should I hold myself back because of something an entirely different Holly did? I'm not saying I shouldn't be held accountable. I'm saying I want to see those closest to me know that they aren't defined by a mistake they made in the past. Imagine a community built not just on accountability, but self-love and forgiveness. Imagine the confidence and kindness we would have for ourselves and others. I'm not broken for having evolved into a new person. I'm doing what I was made to do. We are all growing and learning from our mistakes. But here's the plot twist. Just like I don't want to live in guilt, I don't want to live in accusation either. I've spent a good amount of time trying to explain some of the reasons that we should be willing to release the guilt we have for ourselves, and all of them apply to the temptation of accusation. I've been raised with the assurance that holding a grudge hurts me more than it hurts the other person, but unfortunately, my parents were right. When I hold a grudge, there's something in me that just wants to find more mistakes, to enlarge the problem tenfold. It starts to change my mindset, and the brilliant days of laughter, sarcasm, and jokes don't seem so bright anymore. In psychology, there's this concept called mood-congruent memories. It is the idea that you recall memories better if in the same mood as when you first forged them. Because of this, you remember negative memories when you are in a negative mood. The cycle continues in a similar fashion. The psychology is there, but it's even more than that. We break the relationship we have with the rest of the world when we start to find blame in it, and the world doesn't need more division. When someone wrongs us, they deserve the same forgiveness we should be giving ourselves. The same love that the counseling center so rightfully says we should be giving to ourselves should also be directed at others who make mistakes too. If I'm being honest though, I'm not always the best at this. People can get on my nerves. Heck, I can get on my nerves. I can't promise the kindness and warmest hugs. I can't even promise civility at times. And I'm so sorry for that. But I can tell you that I'm going to try my best to look through the lens of the same love that I'm trying to give myself. It's a journey that I'm not even halfway through yet. Some of you know that I have 3 siblings, all of them older than me. But our dynamic isn't like most families. Even those closest to me don't often know this, but when I was in elementary school, my sister had a lot of health issues. She has an enlarged aorta, which basically means she has a physically enlarged heart, which can be life-threatening if it gets big enough. She also has a condition that means her nerves lie to her, screaming at her if even a makeup brush slightly touches her shoulder. Partway through the school year, her health issues got bad enough that our best option was to take her back home to New Zealand, where medical and insurance systems would take better care of her. But my parents thought I was too young to be without my mom, so I accompanied half of my family over the Pacific Ocean to New Zealand. When there, most of my time was either spent with my grandparents or my sister and my mom in a hospital. After she was doing better, the dynamic between my siblings and I had changed. She was no longer the oldest who could take care of us and be an example. Sorry to all the eldest siblings out there for that job, by the way. She was the sibling who would get away with everything. He would always earn our parents' attention, which was already limited between 4 kids. Life changed. Part of me wanted to be mad about the time lost with the rest of my family while I was at such a young age. I wanted to blame my parents, blame my sister for the childhood I could have had. I wanted to lash out because the love they showed to Hannah wasn't shown to me in equal value. But the other part of me that had grown since knows that she needed attention. Her life was turned upside down too, and the parents who loved me so much wanted to show me their love when I felt like I wasn't worthy of it anymore. How could I hold resentments towards people I wanted a relationship? Even more than that, do I, as someone who has made so many mistakes, have the right to push others away because of their mistakes? We all have skeletons in our closets, and I don't think anyone wants that closet to be opened again. So what am I saying? I don't even know sometimes, but now I'm asking something of all of us. We are all worthy of loving ourselves a little bit more and giving love to those around us just a bit more. I don't mean love as in kisses and flowers and chocolates on Valentine's Day. Shout out to David Sun's Valentine's Day article. I mean something a little more platonic. There is a quote that best describes love in my opinion from the Christian Bible. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth in true Hill fashion. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. It is found in 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 7. And it talks about a love that is respectful, honorable, at peace, and open. It is a love that each and every one of us can give and receive. It is a love that fuels forgiveness of ourselves and others. We are all imperfect, and that is all we need to know. This doesn't mean you need to be besties with a toxic classmate or not do anything when you're being bullied. It doesn't mean that trauma is forgotten and pain is left behind. It doesn't mean you can't get mad or annoyed. Heck, my roommate knows that I can have a good rant. But you deserve more than a life restricted by guilt and grudges. You deserve to sing along with Sela, Mia, and so many others during the student band concert, undisturbed by past mistakes. You deserve to laugh with your dorm during family night karaoke or Just Dance, free from guilt. You deserve to sing happy birthday so that the next team who sings can't sing louder than you. You deserve to dance and play and sing and work and live released from judgment and guilt. So when you make a mistake, when someone wrongs you, make amends, learn from their actions and your own, but don't let them have more power over you than they should have. Let us choose to actively care for those around us just as we should care for ourselves, and thrive despite the faults that we all have. After all, we are only human. Thank you.